父が生まれた日本のふるさとを探したいアメリカ人の青年が1枚のスケッチを手がかりに徒歩で日本を縦断しています。
1枚のスケッチを持って日本を歩いて縦断しているアメリカ人の青年がいます。北海道で生まれた父親の生まれ故郷が描かれたスケッチを手がかりに、そのふるさとを探す旅が続いています。
では父の出生地を探して旅を続ける24歳のアメリカ人青年です。
My name is Tyler, but in Japan they call me Kintaro. I grew up in California, not far from San Francisco.
MTV, STD, HIV, THC, advancements in technology, one giant leap into possibility. Life is the great mystery.
After college, I didn't know what was next, but I was ready to say yes to everything. So when I was offered a job, I took it, working in a restaurant for my father.
All right, guys. A little cheese. There we are. Enjoy.
Then one day, I met a girl. Ayumi was traveling in San Francisco when we met, but she lived in Japan.
I went to San Francisco for a fun tour, but I ended up leaving my heart there. How did this happen?
I've started taking Japanese classes. Oh, I just want to hold your hand and look in your eyes and talk in really fast, crazy Japanese with you.
This morning
Desperate.
I saw you in the golden
Tyler.
sunrise. How much longer?
What if I
Painfully
walked
and-
the length of Japan?
Ayumi.
You could visit me during the walk, and I would learn about your country.
Walk?
Young and naive.
Walk.
Tyler.
Yes, walk. Loosening my
Got my
kimono.
plane ticket today.
Ayumi.
Going now to buy my boots. Tightening my laces. Tyler. But why walk Japan when I could have arm wrestled Japan? Or pillow fought Japan. Or even gone geisha. I thought I didn't want to just experience Japan. I wanted to be part of Japan, and I could see no better way than traveling through the country on foot.
Tyler's Japanese nickname is Kintaro, which means golden boy. In the legend, Kintaro is a strong boy with an axe who lives in the forest.
So when he told me that he was going to Japan, I thought, this would be a great opportunity for him to look for my birthplace. I was actually born in Hokkaido, the northernmost island in Japan. My parents were missionaries. I don't know the name of the town where I was born. I know it was on the northernmost island of Hokkaido, but I left when I was about 6 months old, and my father died over 50 years ago, and my mother doesn't remember the name of the place.
Tyler! Hi, sweetie! Oh, so good to see you!
But she did do a sketch of a very distinctive piece of coastline. And I said, you should go see her. Maybe she still has that. And with that, maybe you can find out where I was born.
I haven't seen this in a long time. Oh, well, pictures do a lot. They trigger so many feelings. You tell me you're going over there.
I told her my plan was to go from the southernmost tip to the northernmost tip of Japan, walking every step of the way.
Wow. Oh, that's wonderful that you want to do that. You want to take this with you?
Do you mind? Is it okay if I take it?
with the sketch, he should be able to show it to people along the road. It would give them something to talk about. And it was a long shot, sure, but you know, somebody might recognize it. There's a chance.
I still had to punch out my final time card at the restaurant. I had to sew my name on my jacket and my backpack. Well, actually my mom did that, but she did a really good job. And then I had to say my goodbyes.
Totally awesome.
Good luck, man. Thanks, guys. But after that, I pretty much found myself on my way.
He really stood out.
In Tokyo, we had rented out a room for my first press conference. My name is Kintaro, and I will walk the length of Japan. Well, thanks a lot for coming out.
We weren't in Tokyo long before we headed down south to the southernmost point of Japan called Cape Sata.
We just landed at Cape Sata. We're gonna walk to the tip right now, check it out.
Camping was not allowed at Cape Sata.
This is Ayumi standing next to our first campground, right at Cape Sata.
We're being so secretive because we're not supposed to be here.
While at Sata, Ayumi and I felt like her parents must have felt on their great walk.
28 years earlier, my father George Megan and my mother Yoshiko started walking north from the very southern tip of Argentina towards Alaska.
Ayumi was conceived on the walk, which is why her name in Japanese means walk.
During the 7 years of walking, my mother, my brother, and myself would go and visit him, and we were all together in Alaska at the very end of the walk after 19,000 miles.
I had read George's book. It was of his fabulous adventures walking the length of the New World, and I thought, I've got to meet this guy, so I tracked him down and we became friends.
And once my dad knew George, it wasn't long until I met Ayumi. I felt like I could relate to explorers taking those first steps towards the unknown. I had no idea what to expect, but I was ready for anything.
I'm gonna miss you so much. I don't want to leave you. Oh God, there's a bus. I gotta go.
Bye.
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 When Ayumi had to go back to work, I suddenly found myself all alone. It wasn't long before my backpack started feeling heavy.
Pretty terrifying on this bridge.
And suddenly I realized that I had 2,000 miles of walking ahead of me, and I didn't know if I could do it.
I've got to walk in there? Oh my God. This looks very scary. Almost 7 o'clock at night. I'm in a bit of pain, so I'm here at the hot springs to relax. Wow.
While I was bathing, 2 men swam up to me and asked if I'd like to have dinner with them.
I've never actually tasted beer in my life. Come by. Oh my God, here goes.
I had really never tasted beer, ever, not even in college. But I figured since this was my spiritual quest, I'd better say yes to everything.
That's the first time I've ever tasted beer in my life.
My new friends were so nice to me that they even put me up in the hotel they were staying at.
Good. Kintaro, good Japanese fashion.
My name is Last Samurai.
Yeah.
Nejiri Hachimaki.
Nejiri Hakimaki.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Double piece. Double piece. Double piece.
Oh. We've had some good times, haven't we? Good time. Good
Time.
Good times. Hey! Hey! Hello! Chotanoshi.
The beginning of the journey was very intimidating because when I'd look at the map, there was still so much distance ahead of me.
I put a map on the wall of my restaurant here, and I put pins in it with little flags, and as he moved up the country, we'd monitor his progress on the map.
Well, he's got a long way to go.
So he'd call me or he'd email me and tell me where he was, and I'd get to put another pin in the map, and it was a thrill. It was like being there with him, and the whole crowd in the restaurant followed his progress up the country.
I would find a lot of the meals I ate at convenience stores, or konbinis as they're called, and I could find things there like sushi, spaghetti, rice balls, and even bottled green tea. I quickly started to feel like the machine the human body is. It was obtain fuel, insert fuel, and keep walking. It was like I was a robot. After about 2 weeks, I started to feel the rhythm of the road.
My name is Ryuta Takeda. Nice to meet you. My name is Kyota Fujita. Nice to meet you. My name is Ryoga Kato. Nice to meet you. My name is Ryoga Kato. Nice to meet you. My name is Ryoga Kato. Nice to meet you.
I'd shown the sketch to nearly 50 people, and no one recognized the place. And I realized that I might have been a little too optimistic, because this was just a little sketch of a random place. Who was going to know where it was? I was really enjoying life on the road. I would do things like count how many waves I would get from passing cars, and I would also try to find shortcuts.
I figured I must have been saving myself quite a bit of time going through these train tunnels. Although, I must admit, they do rumble a bit and scare me. And for the past 2 hours, I've been speaking in this semi-Forrest Gump accent. It kind of creeps me out.
Where did I sleep?
As of last night, I slept here. I'm about to go down that.
What? What?
I tucked myself behind shrines, in parks, on beaches, in playgrounds, pretty much wherever I found myself at the end of the day.
What is going on?
No, it's not unusual to see a tent being sprung up around Japan. We have a history of on-foot travelers through ancient Japan, and still today you see a lot of bikers and students on holidays traveling around and putting up tents, so it's not that unusual. But when you see a puffy-haired blonde gaijin, a foreigner like Kintaro, come out of the tent, now that's unusual.
Oh!
そんなカメラ乗らなくていいからさ、こう寝ちゃダメだ、テント張ったわけしちゃダメだから、みんなで行こうとこだからさ、ね、こうテント外して、ね、OK?
OK、すみません。
And sometimes what I thought was a park at night was actually a schoolyard in the morning.
See you again!
I'd only gone 20 miles when the media got wind of me. It started with local newspapers covering my story, which was fun because a lot of the times the reporters would comb the streets knowing I was coming. The press was nice because people started recognizing me, and as they drove by, often they would yell out shouts of support.
Hi, Kintaro!
It got really exciting when people started inviting me into their homes, and then inviting me to stay the night.
Daddy was a street corner.
I didn't speak much Japanese, and they didn't speak much English, but we were all fluent in Goofy.
Yes, banana head. Nice.
Taro is unconscious.
One night, I stayed with a boy named Taro and his sisters. In the morning, we practiced English.
Oh, I feel so dizzy. Because I'm suffering from diarrhea. Okay.
Okay.
What do you want? Allergic sinusitis. Please speak slowly. Stop! I don't understand what you say now. I'm just a kid. Are you mad at me? At me? At me?
I'm not mad at you.
What's that mean? Come now. You're probably right. Maybe. Perhaps. Possibly. Oh yeah, maybe. No way. You are wrong! Bullshit. That's totally wrong. Stop! Knock it off! Definitely not! I am Mamma Mia.
Often while I was on the road, I would scan my mind for memories that were hidden within. I would think of times back home with friends. A lot of the funny times seemed so much funnier, and I would think of pranks we pulled and I would laugh for miles. But also the sad times I thought about seemed really sad and would get me down. It was as if my emotions and my senses were in a very heightened state. And so when I would stay with a family in this very emotional state, we would become exceptionally close. So I found myself in a situation where I was making new friends nearly every day, which sounds great, but it was also tragic, because in the morning, I was always having to say goodbye. I would literally just ask someone if they knew of a park where I could pitch my tent, and they would say, "Oh, Kintaro, please stay at my home tonight." And so, of course, I would.
これのサンフランシスコな。
おいしい。麺類は吸わなきゃあんた液体の中入ってる。This is good.
まあでも食って入っちゃう。
Oh, whoa. Be careful.
Almost choked on that
Be
one.
careful.
Imagine if every morning you woke up in a new house, in a different place, with a different family. Imagine that, and you'll be close to my reality. Because right now is very strange.
Homestay!
超楽しい。超楽しい。超楽しい。超楽しい。Yes. 超楽しい。Kanpai! No, hold on! Alright guys, kanpai! Hey! Let's kanpai! Hey! Kanpai! Kanpai! すごい。超すごい。And sometimes at night, I would sleep under the grandparents' ashes, their portraits looming over me, and I would dream the dream that I was dreaming nearly every night.
So, did you do it? Did you walk the length of Japan?
Did you do it?
Did you do it?
Did you do it? Did you walk the length of Japan?
Did you do it?
Did you do it?
Did you walk the length of Japan?
I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
Oh, すみません。
子供と別になって今は。だけどあんたがね、歩いてこの暑い中をね、と私これもらった姉からもらったみかんだけね、酸っぱいけどね、今時期でしょ。だもんでそれをね、あんたにあげようと思って今私でかけなきゃならないと思ったけど、ありわりこれとリンゴ言ってきた。持ってきな。ね。
すごい、すごい。Great. For me? うん。あ。本当？
Oh, no. ちょっと細かいけど。
Gift giving plays a very important role in Japanese culture. For example, there are even gift giving seasons twice a year revolved just around giving gifts.
To give to the people I met along the way, I brought with me a humble gift. It was called a Kintaro card.
Kintaro card.
On the front of the card is a picture of me waving with a famous Japanese print by the artist Hokusai behind, and on the back there's a map of Japan. And when I gave the card to someone, I would sign it, date it, and pen the route that I had walked so far. Giving someone a card included them in the journey, and sometimes made them mistake me for someone important.
In the legend, Kintaro befriends all the animals in the forest and even learns how to speak to them.
地図みたい。おはよう。おはよう。おはよう。おはよう。
まさかに風いた金太郎が何か奥までかお前じゃおかしいじゃん奥までよ奥までまたがりその稽古はっきよいよい残ったはっきよいよい残った
すごい
Japan is composed of many islands, 4 main ones, and to get to Hokkaido, Kintaro had to walk through 5.
I had to take a ferry to get from Kyushu to Shikoku, but luckily, to get to the island of Awaji, there was a bridge.
All right, I'm breaking the law right now. I'm nervous. My heart's beating fast. It's dangerous. Maybe I should just start running. But I figured if I can do it today, right now, oh God, I'm nervous. I should start running. I'm running across the bridge right now. It's totally freaky. Totally against the law. I'm totally gonna get caught by the cop. I just ran across the bridge. I just ran across the Naruto bridge. First time in a Japanese police car. Hopefully not the last. Jotanoshi.
Luckily, the nice man I had stayed with the night before came to bail me out. Japanese folks came to pick me up at the police station. Oh, I'm a bad son.
If you give yourself to the journey gives itself to you. Hello, everyone. Hello. I gotta go all the way to Hokkaido. Kintaro desu. My name is Kintaro. How are you? I'm trying to get to Hokkaido, but it will take 6 months to get there. Yeah! Watashi no kaban wa 20 kilo. 超重い。どうぞよろしく。お願いします。
In the spring, Japan is swept over by this cherry blossom front, which moves from south to north as it gets warmer.
When the blossom front was passing me up, Ayumi came down to visit me for a few days.
Hanami means blossom viewing, and it's when people picnic and party around and underneath the cherry blossoms. And there's a lot of drinking, a lot of eating, and people have a lot of fun.
髪が可愛いな。髪が本当な。うまいこと染めとるわ。
守ったろ。
金太郎。
超楽しい。
楽しい。
金太郎金太郎チャレンジ
Oh, challenge.
野菜美容チャレンジ
Beef stomach.
なんかおいしい。
チャレンジ
おいしい。おいしい。
Oh, is she?
おいしい。
Okay, cook a little bit more, you know. With me for some beef stomach?
Yay! Go, go, go! 乾杯!
おいしい。おいしい。
もしもし
どんな
おいしい。
おいしい。おいしい。おいしい。
うん、わかりました。
美味しいと思う。
Wow, it's like chewing a rubber tire.
He was just so excited, so immersed in the trip. He was telling me how nice the people were treating him, and it had only been about 1 month of walking, and he had learned so much Japanese. I was surprised. He could say things like,
おばあさんが描いた一枚のスケッチを頼りに、お父さんの生まれ故郷を探します。This time when Ayumi left, I didn't feel as alone as I did before.
Whenever he'd call, I was so glad to hear from him because he'd really put me there in wherever he was in Japan, and I kept asking him, does anybody recognize the sketch yet?
Most people seemed to have an idea of where the sketch's location was, but nearly everyone would point to a different place on the map. Some people pointed to random islands, and other people even pointed to places that I had already walked past, so I couldn't get an idea of where it was.
Our guest is George Megan. Mr. Megan holds 8 world records, including the one and only crossing on foot of the Western Hemisphere, the longest walk in man's recorded history. 14 countries, 19,017 miles, 31 million steps. Why? Don't say 'cause it was there.
because I was living. I feel when somebody travels, they're truly living. And in our life as we live it today, especially in North America, it's so modulated and protected that one needs to experience real life to be in charge of one's own destiny. And my destiny was to go along the roads of the world and embrace mankind as they embrace me.
What was the toughest thing?
The toughest
or
thing?
moment or day?
Oh, so many, Larry. I was on the road 2,426 days. Imagine you enter the village, you slide down the mountainside, and the people there, they come out and they greet you, and they feel for you, and they say, please stay with us forever. And you say, no, I must continue on to my family in Japan. I must go on and finish the dream.
What's challenge next for a guy like yourself?
I have many challenges left. I'd like to be a good father to my children, Ayumi and Jeffrey, in Japan.
You gonna walk over to your hotel, George, or you gonna need a ride?
Oh, you sent a car for me. I'm gonna go back in the car.
Good thinking, George. George Megan, the book is The Longest Walk. He's something else.
Today, George lives in Japan, where he is a professor at the Kobe Maritime University. And during my walk, I got to stay with him.
It's a nice quiet one. It's when they're coming in. They come in like MX missiles blasting through here. It hasn't done anything to me. I haven't slept in weeks.
There are so many different ways to travel. What is it about walking that makes it so different and special?
Oh, for sure. When you travel in a vehicle, you are going through the scenery, let's imagine. Mm-hmm. When you're walking, you are a part of the scenery. And when you travel alone, as you usually are, you are open to the entire world. And it's also good for you. And you are, as I mentioned, you will be physically stronger at the end of your journey than at any other time probably in your life. How wonderful. There's nothing better in the world you could be doing at this point.
Thank you so much. Tokyo was exactly 1,000 miles from my start point. Japan didn't seem to be too crowded until I got to Tokyo. The Greater Tokyo area is the largest city in the world, with a population steadily approaching 30 million. Many businessmen stay in coffin-sized hotel rooms called capsule hotels. The night I stayed in a capsule hotel, there was a small earthquake. A total Tokyo experience.
歩きながらね、日本のいいところをいっぱい見つけてもらいたい。
ああ、いっぱい。
うん。
お腹いっぱい。
お腹いっぱい。それもいいところになるかな。はい。
日本人の人、
Anata tachi no ai ga gozo roppu ni shimiwataru. Arigatou gozaimasu.
最高です。はい。
So after Tokyo, he told me he was going to cut straight north to the Sea of Japan. I said, well, don't you see those mountains?
I wanted to cross the Alps. Japan is 73% mountains, and I had been walking along the coast for most of the trip, and I wanted to get in some of those mountains.
こうして橋渡ったところをすぐに右に入っていくんです。右に入っていくとこれ指曽川伝いにこうどんどんこうに行くんですよ。滝があって見える橋があるんですよね。目的はここなんですよ。ここ。この下の道、この上の道は一ノ倉とかそういうのが見えるとこまで行ったことあります。
どうですか？大丈夫そう？
大丈夫、大丈夫。大丈夫。この足だったら大丈夫。
Okay, かっこいい。ありがとうございます。All right.
Okay.
Set me into the mountains. Here we go.
この人大体どこの人なの？
川の水が増えてるから、ここからこっち降りないで、これが291だからこっち行くようにね。
Gotta strap on the crampons for this next traverse. Well, here I am on the side of a huge snowy mountain in the Japanese Alps, trekking to Hokkaido. The toughest hike I've ever done. And I still have about 3 hours to go till the next town. But that's okay, because I'm on a road now. And all roads lead to Hokkaido. I love Japanese weather predictions. Today is a rainy day. Hello. According to the news, it can rain every day if you want.
In between spring and summer, Japan has a rainy season.
He had been walking for 4 months, and I talked to him on the phone. He sounded so tired, and I thought, so he's not going to find it. But that's okay. I was just worried about him.
I was addicted to walking. I was physically exhausted at the time, but I had to keep moving. I couldn't take a day of rest. I was afraid that if I stopped for even a day, I might not start up again.
One day, Kintaro is challenged to wrestle a bear. All the animals in the forest gather to watch the match. Kintaro lifts the bear into the air and defeats it. But Kintaro is kind, and afterwards, Kintaro and the bear become very close friends. This exhaustion spell was Kintaro's challenge, and he had to find a way to defeat it and hopefully befriend it.
大変ですね。
ジャパニーズテレビジョン。You wanted. You wanted.
どこまで？どこまで？
日本一周。京都。テンプル。サーバント。You temple servant. High Buddhist. Oh. 1989. American Holy Place. 88. You. San Francisco. New York.
すごい。
Yes.
サンフランシスコからニューヨーク。
Oh.
歩いて。
Yes.
すごい。
Temple servant.
Temple servant.
Yes.
Temple servant.
Servant.
Oh!
You messenger. Okay. Okay. Message. Okay. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Message.
I presented the temple servant with my grandmother's sketch, hoping that his travels had once led him there.
あとシャコタンだと思うな。ろうそくロック。シャコタン。Shakotan.
Shakotan.
Shakotan, Shakotan, he kept saying. This sketch is Candle Rock on the Shakotan Peninsula. He explained that he had walked by it only 2 weeks earlier, and he was certain it was the place.
Okikiniko! いい元気。40歳ですか？40歳
？40歳 No, no, no.
35?
50. 55.
本当に。
This man filled me with joy, and although I was sad to leave him, I was dying to get to Candle Rock.
Yoshiharu-san! 頑張れ!
News Flash です。
I never understood much of the Japanese news I saw, but I was always fascinated with how it focused on sidewalks and other unlikely news events.
この猿、真下の池に向かって豪快にジャンプ。中国浙江省の山に住む猿たちも。父の出生地がおぼろげながら見え、足取りも軽くなった真国分さん。父親のふるさと北海道はもう間近です。
はい、まずは良かったですね。
はい。
真国分さんは歩き続けた本州、そして青森での思い出を胸に父のふるさとに思いを馳せていました。
青森の人、すごい楽しかったです。青森の自然、すごい美しいです。北海道、I'm coming for you, buddy. Yeah.
As you stand by me.
函館から積丹半島まではおよそ250キロ。真国分さんにとって父の出生地を探す旅はまだ続きます。さあ、北海道に渡りました。どういう旅になるんでしょうかね。楽しみです。
フェリーに乗って函館にやってきたのはアメリカ人のタイラー・マクニブンさんです。北海道に来るのは初めてです。
北海道、超興奮してます。
リュックには必ずたどったルートを刺繍します。
My dream. This is my dream. My goal. 私の人生。
父親のふるさと日本を感じながら歩き続けてきた4ヶ月の間にいろいろな日本語も覚えたようです。
旅は道連れ、世は情け。
真国分さんがろうそく岩を見るのは明日ぐらいになりそうです。
When I first saw Candle Rock, I realized how far I'd actually come.
Well, he called me from Yoichi, near Candle Rock, where I was born, and you know, I finally had a vivid image of post-war Japan and my parents really as young as he is now.
We went out in my boat with my sketching materials, and I saw this scene, and I started to draw. Ah, yes, that was wonderful.
I was the third generation to stand in front of these rocks, and I imagined that in the future, this legacy would continue.
You know, never knowing where you were born is like being half an orphan, I guess, but it was so great because he found my past, and now it was time for him to move into his future.
I'd found my father's birthplace, but the journey wasn't over. There were still 200 miles to the northern tip, and this was bear country. A few days later, I was happily asleep in my tent when I was suddenly jolted awake by a booming
Kintaro desu ka? Watashi wa mori no kuma desu. Kyou tatakaimasu.
I really didn't know what was happening, but I figured since I was Kintaro and there was a bear, I'd better start wrestling.
When the bear hit the ground, its head rolled off, revealing the faces of my two great friends, Bill and David. They had surprised me in Hokkaido and helped me fulfill the legacy as Kintaro, Golden Boy.
Kintaro was surprised to see Bill and David, but Bill and David were surprised to see how comfortable Kintaro was on the walk and how much he had befriended Japan.
That night, we were invited to join a beachside barbecue.
Konnichiwa, hajimemashite. He says that those are fake. 今日の朝、今朝私たちがテントの中で寝てる時に外で大きなクマの格好をして金太郎まさかに担いだ金太郎半分眠たいでしょそれで何が何だか分からなくてとりあえずレスリングしたのそれでそのクマのあれを取ったら2人友達がどこから来たのって言ってびっくりさせて
I wish I had some dance I could do or something.
少し日本語を話します。でも日本語を話したい。でも、私の心を話します。私の心をわかりますか？どうもありがとうございます。親切です。アメリカ、サンフランシスコで生きてください。私たちのうちお願いします。生きてください。本当に本当。すごいです。大きい人生です。大きい人生。Thank you so much.
Walking is such a great way to travel. It's healthy, It's natural, and it can't be rushed. If you're walking at 3 miles per hour, it really gives you time to interact with what's happening around you. If you're driving, you can just speed by everything without really taking it in. But walking, you can see every turn, you can look at all the trees, watch the clouds, feel the wind, see the insects, smell every smell, and my favorite, you can interact with the people. And it's not hard to see that Japan is the perfect country to walk through. First, it's very safe. Second, the people are tremendously kind and they love foreigners. Third, there are hot springs in almost every town to soothe the muscles of a weary traveler. Fourth, you're allowed to pitch your tent almost anywhere. Fifth, it's also a very curvy country, so the beautiful scenery is always changing. Sixth, the cutest old people you will ever meet. Seventh, the food might be crazy, but it sure does taste good. 8. The country is lined with 24-hour convenience stores, so if you arrive in a town past closing time, you will always find something to eat. 9. Nice bears. And 10. The girls are really good looking. I mean, I just walked 2,000 miles for one.
3000キロの道のりをおよそ5ヶ月かけて歩き通し、今日宗谷岬に到着しました。
Meeting thousands of amazing Japanese people, it's been the most magical experience of my life. Thank you, Japan. Tabi wa michizure, yo wa nasake.
And all the walking made his body really strong, his muscles really tight and hard, especially around his legs, his buttocks, and his thighs, and his shoulders, and his chest, and it was just really nice, really hot. Whoa, whoa!
I'd fallen in love, I'd walked the length of Japan, I'd found my father's birthplace, I'd befriended thousands of wonderful people. There really only seemed one question left. What's next?
My name is Ryoga Kato. Nice to meet you.